The integration chambers hummed with ancient energy as Elisa stood before the crystalline altar, her hands trembling inside the ceremonial binding cuffs. 23 years of freedom ended by a single government decree. The Human Draconian Peace Accord demanded it. One human female, one draconian male, united in matrimony to seal the fragile alliance between their worlds. "You have been selected for your genetic compatibility," the officiator had told her 3 days ago, his voice devoid of sympathy. "The draconian you will marry is of modest means, but your sacrifice will prevent another war." Modest means. The words still stung. Elisa had seen the holovids, magnificent draconian estates floating among the stars, warriors clad in scales that reflected entire galaxies, and she'd been paired with a poor one, some backwater colonist, probably. Another cruel joke from a universe that had already taken so much from her. The chamber doors hissed open, and her future husband entered. Maverick walked with a measured gait that seemed almost apologetic, his dark scales catching the dim light like polished obsidian. He wore simple traveler's clothes, threadbare by draconian standards, and carried no emblems of house or rank. His wings were folded tight against his back, making him appear smaller, less threatening. When their eyes met, Elisa saw something unexpected. Kindness. "I know this isn't what you wanted," Maverick said softly, his voice a low rumble that resonated in her chest. "I will try to make it bearable." The ceremony was mercifully brief. Ancient words in a language neither of them spoke fluently, a joining of hands, and a pulse of light that sealed their bond. By the time the officiator declared them bound, Elisa felt the strange warmth of the connection settling into her bones, a side effect of draconian matrimonial magic, linking their life forces together. They were assigned quarters on the edge of the diplomatic station, a cramped apartment that barely accommodated Maverick's size. He had to duck through doorways and fold his wings at awkward angles just to move around. That first night, he insisted she take the bedroom while he made do with the common area, curling up on the floor despite her protests. "You're already giving up enough," he said. "I won't take your comfort too." Days turned into weeks. Maverick worked odd jobs around the station, repairs, cargo loading, anything that would earn credits. He never complained, never demanded anything of Elisa. In the evenings, he would return exhausted, his scales dulled from manual labor, and still manage a smile for her. He brought her small gifts, a flower from the hydroponics bay, a piece of earth chocolate he'd traded for, a data chip with human music he thought she might enjoy. Slowly, impossibly, Elisa found herself warming to him. "Why did you agree to this?" she asked one night as they shared a modest meal. "You could have refused. Your people aren't forced into these marriages." Maverick's amber eyes grew distant. "My reasons are complicated, but I wanted to help. Your people and mine, we've hurt each other enough. Someone had to build a bridge." "Even if it meant binding yourself to a stranger?" "Especially then." He smiled, and something in Elisa's chest tightened. "Besides, you're not so bad. For a human." She threw a food packet at him, laughing for the first time in months. The attack came without warning. Elisa was returning from the market sector when the alarms shrieked to life. Craxian raiders, a brutish species that had been harrying the station's supply lines for months. Through the chaos and screaming, she ran toward their quarters, praying Maverick had made it home safely. She found him in the corridor outside their apartment, standing between her and 6 armed Craxians. His simple clothes were torn, revealing the intricate scale patterns beneath. But something was different. The apologetic stoop was gone. He stood at his full height, wings spread wide, and the air around him crackled with power. "Leave," Maverick commanded, and his voice carried the weight of mountains. "Or face the consequences." The Craxians laughed, until Maverick moved. It wasn't a fight. It was a demonstration. Maverick's body blurred with speed that Elisa's eyes couldn't track. Ancient combat forms, passed down through generations of draconian warriors, flowed through him like water. He disarmed the first raider with a casual flick of his tail, shattered the second's weapon with a precisely aimed wing strike, and had the remaining 4 on their knees within seconds. Power radiated from him in waves, not the raw strength of a common fighter, but the refined, devastating precision of a master. When station security finally arrived, they found Maverick standing calmly amid the subdued raiders, not even breathing hard. One of the draconian guards took a single look at him and immediately dropped to one knee. "My lord," the guard whispered, his voice thick with awe, "we didn't know you were stationed here." "The dragon warriors are not to be mentioned," Maverick interrupted quietly. "I'm just Maverick here, understood?" The guard nodded frantically and dragged the raiders away. Elisa stared at her husband, her mind reeling. "What was that? Who are you really?" Maverick's shoulders slumped, the apologetic posture returning like a familiar coat. "Can we talk inside?" In their cramped apartment, surrounded by the humble furniture of their life together, Maverick finally told her the truth. "I am the heir to the Dragon Warriors, the oldest and most powerful martial order in the Draconian Empire," he said quietly. "My family has protected our people for 10,000 years. Wealth, status, power, I was born with all of it." "Then why?" "Because I didn't want you to marry a title," Maverick interrupted, meeting her eyes. "The peace accord gave me a choice. Accept an arranged marriage with all the pomp and politics that entailed, or volunteer anonymously. Start fresh. See if something real could grow without the weight of expectation crushing it." Elisa felt tears building. "You gave up everything. For this. For me." "Not everything." Maverick reached out, carefully taking her hand. The bond between them pulsed with warmth. "I found something worth more than any inheritance. A partner who saw me, just me, and chose to stay anyway." "You idiot," Elisa whispered, but she was smiling through her tears. "A poor dragon. I should have known there was no such thing." "Will you stay?" Maverick asked softly. "Knowing what you know now, I can give you the life you deserve. Palaces, luxury, anything you want." Elisa looked around their cramped apartment. At the mismatched furniture and the small gifts Maverick had brought her, each one chosen with care despite having so little. She thought of his gentleness, his tireless work, the way he'd always put her comfort first. "I don't want palaces," she said finally. "I want this, us, the real us." Maverick's eyes brightened, and when he smiled, Elisa saw not the heir of warriors or a political pawn, but simply the male she'd fallen in love with, poor dragon or not. Outside their window, stars wheeled in their ancient dance, and somewhere in the vast darkness between worlds, humanity and Draconia took another small step toward peace. End.